I want to tell this story. I'm a little embarrassed. Only some members of my family know it, those who lived it. I don't tell friends or relatives I'm not close to for fear of being mocked or told I'm crazy. It happened during a week between the end of October and the Day of the Dead. I grew up in San Diego, but every year we visit family in Guadalajara, at least twice. On one of those visits my dad had an emergency at work and couldn't go, so my mom stayed with him. They let my sister and me travel anyway. It was our first time going alone. An aunt picked us up at the Guadalajara airport with her son and took us to my grandmother's house, an old house that had been in the family for generations. It was too big for her alone. The yard was huge, big enough that she could have built a house for each of her children, though no one accepted such an offer. My grandmother welcomed us with joy, and my aunt left her son with us. He was 14, just a little older than me. I remember my grandmother going into the kitchen to prepare dinner and my sister, who always liked to help chop vegetables, went with her. My cousin and I preferred to play in the yard. It began to get dark. He and I sat on one of the swings that hung from a huge tree, the biggest in the yard. We swung and let go to turn around, and suddenly one of the ropes came loose and I fell. We laughed a lot because I fell headfirst, shoes flying, but when the laughter died down we heard something laughing from the top of the tree. I looked at the branch that held the doves. There was something up there I couldn't make out in the darkness. My cousin's face changed. He had his eyes wide open. He helped me up and we went inside quickly. In the kitchen my sister told me what she had done to help. I saw my cousin approach my grandmother and whisper something in her ear. She answered something I couldn't hear, and then I understood her question. Do you stay with them? My cousin said yes. That night we went to sleep. My cousin slept next to the window, then me, and my sister in another small bed. I don't know if this was a dream, but in the middle of the night a sound at the window woke me. I tried to open my eyes and focus, and there, at the window, was a small silhouette with its hands around its face, as if trying to peer inside. I called to my cousin and he only told me to go back to sleep. I could see the silhouette turn toward him when he spoke. The next day passed quietly. One of my relatives left late, and nothing happened. But the following day, a Saturday with more family around, I suddenly heard my sister scream along with two cousins her age. I went to see what was happening. They pointed at a hole like a squirrel hole in a pile of dirt at the back of the yard and shrieked that something had gone in there. What went in there? I asked. The little man, they said. He took our little hands, he asked us to follow him, and he went in. They were excited, still shouting. I told them to go into the house because my grandmother was calling them, but I got very angry. I don't know what came over me. I don't know if it was my imagination or what I had seen at the window, but I grabbed a hose without telling anyone and pushed it into the hole they had pointed to. I opened the water fully and left it running there for a while. When my cousin noticed, he closed the hole. My grandmother didn't scold me. That day we slept at my aunt's house and my grandmother stayed alone. When we returned on Sunday, my grandmother was cleaning and picking up things in the garden. There were several broken things, pots thrown about. I thought it was from the children playing the day before, maybe too many kids running around, but then I saw the window of the room where we had been staying. It was broken. Around it were many muddy marks, like prints of legs. I can't be sure, but I had the impression our suitcases had been moved. I don't remember if anything was missing. That day we stayed inside playing Mario Kart. At one point I went to the bathroom and saw my grandmother walking toward the pile of dirt with the hole I had filled with water. I could swear she was carrying something in her hands, a plate, maybe, but I didn't ask. We slept in another room and nothing happened. In the following days my cousin went back home because of school, and we spent the rest of the visit in relative peace. Years later my grandmother died, but that wasn't the last story about whatever inhabits the courtyard of that house. We learned a lot more about it, and I talked about it with my cousin. I hope to tell the rest another time.